Well, let's go from one new economy approach to business to a more old economy approach to business. I'm talking the airline business here. Now, there's Emirates, there's Etihad, and now in the Middle East, there's a new airlines, RAK Airways. One of the other states in the United Arab Emirates is restarting its national airline. But just how many carriers are needed in the country with fewer than a dozen modern airports? Let's go to our Leonie Lakani. She's live at CNN Abu Dhabi with perspective on what could be taking flight here. Leonie, first of all, did I pronounce that right? Is it RAK or is it RAK?
It's RAK Airways, Andrews. But like you say, three national airlines from one country seems a bit much. But what RAK Airways is doing is saying that it's filling a niche market in between those commercial airlines like Emirates and Etihad and the low-cost carriers. So they're trying to fill in that middle market in there. Now, just to give you a bit of background on RAK Airways, it's a national airline of Ras Al Khaimah, which is one of the other states, like you mentioned, of the United Arab Emirates. It's one of the lesser-known ones. It's not like Dubai or Abu Dhabi yet, but it has done quite a lot to try and bring itself forward into the international arena. Now, RAK Airways was founded in 2006, but it did go into operation a year later. It did have to stop and suspend flights because of the global financial downturn eventually. But they say the time is ripe now to restart and resume some of their flights. So on October 10th, RAK is planning to start two routes to Jeddah and Calicut. And they're doing that basically because they're targeting the sheer volume of visitors from the UAE to Jeddah because of the holy sites there, and Calicut, where so many of the workers from India come from. So basically they're doing that, but they're doing it on a different level. They're going up against Emirates on those routes by offering very, very low fares. So for instance, if you were to fly on Emirates on that route from the UAE to Calicut, you'd be spending about $380 for a ticket. Whereas on this airline, you'd be going for about $100, including tax. So what they're trying to do is go up against their bigger neighbors in the United Arab Emirates on the airline front by offering a more affordable option to those large commercial airlines like the Emirates and the Etihad, as you mentioned, Andrew.
Certainly looks like a David and Goliath struggle, at least at this point, Leonie. Ras Al Khaimah, as you say, not many people would know much about this region. It's not just airlines it's looking at. I believe there's other buildings and other projects going on. So are they actually setting themselves to become a competitor to the neighbours like Dubai, Abu Dhabi?
What Ras Al Khaimah has done, Andrew, over the past few years, it's rising in prominence in the region, and they are trying to come a little bit more into the international arena. They, like Dubai, are not very rich in resources like oil and gas. So what they are doing, like Dubai again, is trying to push forward on the tourism front. So they're starting a massive, $100 million ice park that's going to be starting later on this week. They've got a number of beach resorts across their beaches. But whereas Dubai has targeted the more high-end luxury market, what Ras Al Khaimah is doing is offering similar facilities, but on a more affordable level, on a more medium-range level. What they've also done is made it cheaper to live there and cheaper to do business. So if anyone, for instance, wanted to come to the UAE and take advantage of the international hub like Dubai or Abu Dhabi, but they find it too expensive to do business, Ras Al Khaimah made it very easy for people to come in, get a trade license, set their business up in Ras Al Khaimah, but then take advantage of the rest of the UAE, like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And it's done it quite successfully over the past 3 years. What the government is trying to do now is make that even bigger and more international.
Fascinating story. Leonie, thanks very much for that. Leonie Lakani joining us live from CNN Dubai with interesting port, Charles, on Ras Al Khaimah.